Greg Kelly Show.
Are you still feeling a little extra, extra happy, in a higher than usual mood? I sure the hell am. I just, every day feels like Christmas. There's something special going on. I love it. It's been hard. This has been tough. There have been some depressing days in this journey, in this temporary post-Trump era, although it's not a post-Trump era, this Biden era, with the arrests, with the persecution, the prosecution. Sometimes it looked pretty bleak, right? Let's face it. And, I felt like I was the only one, me and a handful of others, like looking at these indictments. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? And looking at Joe Biden and saying, this man can't do the job. You saw it. I saw it. And now everybody has seen it. Everybody has seen it. And the fake news can't protect him anymore. Can't. Now they can change the subject. And they're trying to do that right now by saying that Donald Trump suddenly, because of the Supreme Court decision, has the right to, send SEAL Team 6 in to take out his political enemies. He just won a major victory. The Supreme Court understands the whole idea that presidents do have a certain level of immunity when they're doing their jobs. No one's talking about killing their enemies. It's just that, Donald Trump is allowed to pick up the phone and say stuff to his attorney general. He's allowed to pick up the phone and say stuff to his vice president. He is. Even if you don't like it, even if you don't agree with it, even if you think if that matter ever made it to the Supreme Court, it would be rejected. It's politics. He's allowed to engage in politics. And they try to say that a president can't do that without being. The Georgia indictment is a great case of this. Rudy Giuliani and others, they're being charged with leaving voicemail messages. How dare this person call the Speaker of the Arizona House and leave him a message? That's a felony? Are you crazy? That's politics. That's politics. Anyway, it's a great ruling, but whatever. I've seen these things, how many times have we been dissecting Supreme Court or judicial decisions or reading transcripts and that's been every day for the past year and a half at least. That debate has changed everything, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love that it happened. I love that there can be no doubt about their corruption, their pathological lying. Everybody has seen it. The jig is up. The jig is up, isn't it? What are they going to do? Well, they can't go on like this. Everybody knows that. I hear everybody knows that. You know it. You know it. I know I had Mark Halpern on the other day. Great guy, brilliant, but I don't think he gets it. I mean, the people talking to him don't get it. That can't stand. Right now, the country is in peril with this man as president. Yeah, we have been in peril since the day he became president, but more so now that it's become so universally understood. This is not fake news. This is not a deep fake. This is not right-wing manipulation, right? Everybody saw it, and there's no explaining it. Well, maybe there is. Alzheimer's, dementia, I don't know. Something's wrong with his brain. Something is seriously wrong with him. And he needs medical care. He needs to be removed from the White House. He needs to resign. 25th Amendment. This is urgent. I don't know who the hell Jake Sullivan thinks he is, or Ron Klain, or Jeffrey Zients. Do any of those names mean anything to you? Jeffrey Zients, Ron Klain, who are they? I didn't vote for them. I didn't vote for Joe Biden either, but nobody voted for them. They're some of the most important people in the world right now because they are calling the shots. They are running the show. They are in charge. And by the way, I think they put Joe Biden out there on purpose. They put him out there to fail. So they may be in on this. They may understand, as I do, that Joe can't go on. And they maybe wanted that to happen. Who would put him out there after all the stuff that we have seen and we have covered? From the kleptocracy to falling asleep on the world stage to muttering gibberish at the G7 to walking off to observe a tree while all of your world leader colleagues are congratulating the parachutist who just came out of 50,000 feet. I think that's more important than some guy sitting next to a tree. It's all been all there. And the fake news, and I've demonstrated this in my videos, that they have they've ignored it. They've covered for him. They've engaged in a Soviet-style propaganda operation, just like they did for Leonid Brezhnev, of all people. Leonid freaking Brezhnev, the Soviet Union. Did you hear, by the way, about what happened to me on Friday? I guess it happened after the show, right? Oh, it did happen after the show. So Joe Biden goes by here when he's in New York City. He was in New York City on Friday. He goes right outside the radio station, and there were some barricades set up. And I think, oh, Biden's coming, right? And yeah, Biden's going to drive by here. I remember the last time he did. I remember the last time I yelled at him from inside this studio, but the studio was soundproof. But I saw him, and I'm like, next time I'm going to get a little bit closer. So Friday was next time. And I made up a little sign saying, Joe, you lose. Whatever. I just felt like doing it. And then something happened. I'm just standing there waiting for President Biden to drive by. And then all of a sudden I see cops, and they seem to be talking about me. And then I see more cops. And then and I love law enforcement. I love the police. But they had orders apparently to remove protesters from along the route. Now, I'm not a protester. I'm just shooting my mouth off, and I'm allowed to do that in America, right? Aren't you allowed to do that? I'm allowed to have a sign that says anything I want on that sign. And they started like, you really can't be here. I'm like, I can't be here on the corner. I'm behind this barricade you guys set up. Yeah, no, you have to go over here. Over there? Well, that's far away. I don't want to be over there. I want to be right by when he comes by. Yeah, no, you're going to have to go over there. No. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. You don't have a fence over there. I want to be right here. Yeah, no. And they start like pleading with me. And I start pleading with them. Are you crazy? I guess I'll just go to another corner. And then I said, you know what? I'm not going to another corner. I'm staying on this one. And they keep coming to me saying, you got to go back there. I said, no, I don't. I'm not in a sensitive area. I'm on a public sidewalk with my sign that says whatever the hell I want on it. And I'm allowed to do this. And I don't even think I was going to wait for that damn motorcade to come by. I was going to take a picture, like, look at me, I'm waiting for Joe, haha, and then go about my day. I was going to wait 45 minutes for that guy. Then it became like a mission. He has to see this sign. He has to see it. But I had to go all over Midtown Manhattan to find a place where the cops weren't hassling me. Again, I love the cops. I believe they had orders probably from the Biden administration, from Secret Service, whatever, that Joe does not want any people telling him anything as he comes into New York City. You can't, that's what you get when you're president. I don't care who you are, what president, what you did the night before. We get to say this stuff. Joe's been holed up in, where is he? Camp David, Maryland, and the family doesn't want him to quit. I remember another family that didn't want their presidential father to quit. Richard Nixon, the day before he quit, he polled his family. Julie, Tricia, Ed Cox, the wonderful Ed Cox, married to Tricia. I think Ed might have been like, you got a real problem here. But Tricia and Julie said, do not quit. But he knew he had to. He knew he had the political instincts. He knew he had to. Barry Goldwater had just gone up to Capitol Hill and saying, it's over. It's over. But right now we live in an era where it's party over country. Party over country. For the Democrats, it is. Party discipline. I'll give them this. They're disciplined, just like over there in the Soviet Union back in the day, huh? So, I don't know. I just love it. I love it. Trump was flawless. You know what you see? You see intimidation. That is the definition of intimidation. Joe was intimidated, and he felt great shame. Great shame to hear that. He's never been spoken to like that in his life. And he's getting it from Trump. Rat-a-tat-tat. Bam, 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 bam. And don't tell me this. I mean, there are Democrats out there with a straight face saying that he did a great job, that he was good that night. He was horrible. The real culprit in all of this, though, one of the many, I should say, is crooked Jill Biden. Crooked Jill. How in the hell she could do this? She must really love clothes. She must really love that stupid plane, Air Force One. I've been on that plane. It ain't that big a deal. You don't sell out your country to ride on that 30-year-old hunk of plane. I don't care. It's got a fancy paint job. So what? You can get up and walk around. So what? You're still who you are, your soul. And they have totally corrupted themselves to get all this crap, to get all this junk, to get all this seeming prestige. They have disgraced their office. They have disgraced their family. They have disgraced the country. I've got it. It's, where's this? December 6th. Joe's still running around trying to convince people I'm the only one who can beat Donald Trump. Well, if that's true, I mean, America has a bigger problem than that. Hey, can I hear from Jason Miller? He's fantastic. Jason Miller is a senior advisor on the Trump campaign. Cut 7.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah, cut 7 when you get a chance. You just pressed it a moment ago. Nah, never mind.
Well, I knew that President Trump was going to deliver. And not only did he deliver, it was the greatest performance in debate history, which, by the way, Howie, that's not just me saying it. New CBS Ipsos polling out this morning in a clip of 56-16 are saying that President Trump beat Joe Biden in that debate. What I didn't quite expect was that Joe Biden would do poorly. But look, we've seen him as far as how he interacts, how he stumbles around. That part didn't necessarily surprise me. What surprised me is that after a week of being locked away in a log cabin in the middle of the woods, Joe Biden couldn't lay out any sort of vision for where he wanted to go, which, by the way, he took a week on vacation while we have 55 ISIS terrorists running around the country.
Well, you're always president.
That's unforgivable. You can't take a week of vacation when you have terrorists running around the country. But President Trump dominated Joe Biden on the vision issue. That same poll I referenced, President Trump's leading Joe Biden 44-18 on who actually delivered a vision.
Yep. Beautiful. Hey, the other thing, there's a poll from CBS. 72% of the country believe that Joe Biden does not have the mental fitness to be president. CBS News. They've been covering up for Joe Biden. Now they've been unleashed. But for how long? How long do their censorship instincts kick right back in? You know? How long does it take? I don't know. I think it actually, I see signs of it right now. So it is a great time to be alive, isn't it? The truth. You can only cover up so much. God sees everything, baby. Oh, yeah. And you think he was going to let Joe Biden get away with this one? Our God is a great God. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly. This is the Greg Kelly Show.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
Did you see the face she made when she said that? It was really brutal. And now Jill thinks she's the president, and in many ways we're seeing a thing here where, like, I don't know if anybody remembers. I heard this from Levin. Wilson, President Wilson had a stroke at some point, and then Mrs. Wilson started doing all the presidential work for like a year and a half. She was running the country, essentially. And that's what seems to be the situation here. Has been going on for a while. I got a picture of Jill at the front desk of, at the main desk there of Air Force One. There's like one big presidential desk. She's sitting at it, and the caption is getting ready for the G7. And there are all these stupid briefing books in front of her. Remember, she is, I think she's got her PhD at a community college. I mean, community colleges are great. I took 2 courses at NASA Community, but you can't go running around calling yourself a doctor. All right. That at least, you know what? That's actually a good thing that's come from all this. No one's calling her Dr. Jill Biden, I noticed. No one even thinks it, right? It's just Jill Biden. Interesting how that's been a casualty. That fake thing already is falling away. Now, the other thing about post-debate at that party, everybody overlooked this, but once Joe got the microphone from that just shrieking woman just over the Joe told a fake story with a fake line, totally butchers it. And I have not seen this anywhere, but I decided to watch the entire event. And I found a little something, as I often do when I tune out the fake news and try to find out what really happened. Listen to this. This is an hour after that weird debate that he totally blew. He blows even this personal appearance. Cut 19, please. Cut 19.
Look, folks, you know, I shouldn't say this, but my brother always uses lines from movies. There was a famous movie about John Wayne, and he's working for the northern military, trying to get the Apaches back in the reservation. And they were lying like hell to him. And they're all sitting on a bluff. And John Wayne was sitting with two Apaches. And one of them looked at John Wayne and said, "These guys are nothing but lying, dog-faced pony soldiers." Except he's just a liar. Look, folks, what's going to happen over the next couple days is they're going to be...
Lying dog-face what? Lying dog-face pony soldier. Now, that's not any line in any John Wayne movie. The word lying was mentioned in a John Wayne movie. Dog-face was mentioned. Pony was mentioned. A soldier was mentioned, but not lying dog-face pony soldier. He's got it in his diseased brain that this is a line from a John Wayne movie or whatever, that it means anything to anybody. So he used it 3 years ago in Iowa when he was campaigning, trying to get people to like him, right? A woman has, doubts about him. And she, in a very polite way, she raises those doubts. Listen to what he says. This is actually all the way back in 2019. He's campaigning for the Iowa caucus. Cut 20.
Explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
It's a good question. Number one, Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
What? Call the doctor. Jill, you did this to your husband. What a wretched person. I'm sorry, but at this point, they want that stupid airplane. They'll put us at risk. Everybody can see it. It's time to go immediately. Some of us have been saying that since January 20th of 2021, actually since election. We all saw it. Fake news, those lying liars and the liars. What was that name of the book? Lying liars and the liars and the lies they tell by Al Franken. He wrote it about Fox News 20 years ago. Now, I happen to disagree with a good chunk of that book. However, his opposition to the Iraq War did not bother me. The lies are being told about everything all the time. They can't tell the difference between a lie and a truth anymore, even in their own heads.
You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
Hey, we'll get to the political earthquake. More than an earthquake. I mean, it's like a black hole. Everything is different. Not for us in a way, but also for us in the aftermath of that debate. What a moment. Do yourself a favor. Give yourself a treat. Watch it again, okay? Or just watch the first 20 minutes. I mean, it's over at that point. Over. I declared it over. It was a total victory by 21 minutes after. But the other thing that wow, they really did it. Steve Bannon, is Steve Bannon in jail yet? They made Steve Bannon go to jail because he didn't cooperate with some stupid congressional committee, which, given basically the tradition of over the past, how long has it been? 20, 30 years, you could blow off congressional committees without fear. Certainly you wouldn't go to jail. Eric Holder has done it. Millions of Democrats have done it. Not answer a congressional subpoena, not appear. Steve Bannon does it. Our other friend, Peter Navarro, does it. They get jail. Steve Bannon went to a federal prison this morning in Danbury. I think he goes to Danbury, which they don't believe what they tell you. Oh, it's club fed. It's really nice. No, it's not. Prison's prison, and it sucks. Steve Bannon, cut 13. He doesn't seem to mind, though. I don't know. Cut 13.
Yeah, I'm excited because, hey, I don't give two about going to Danbury prison, okay? Whoa. Here's what I give a about. We're going to take down Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, and the corrupt DOJ and the FBI and all of it. I could care less. Okay, I'm excited because MAGA's going to let out a roar tonight and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and burn it all down till we get to November 5th, where President Trump's going to win in a landslide. We're not backing down 1 inch.
I get it. Totally. Hey, 4 months in prison. He's going in a hero. He'll come out a hero. He didn't do anything wrong. He'll get 4 months to work out, no distractions. Yet he can stay politically active. I think he can get his message out there. He's got good people. The War Room is a big deal. His podcast is a huge deal. And he wants people to not write him in prison. Don't write him a letter. Yeah, he doesn't want any letters. Cut 22, please.
You're reporting to prison on Monday.
I am.
How do you feel about that?
I'm a political prisoner. I feel great about it. It's got whatever. Look, I served my nation on that destroyer in my 20s and back at the Pentagon. I'm serving my country right now as a political prisoner in Danbury starting on Monday. It will not change this show. It will not change our impact. It won't change me. It will not suppress my voice. My voice will not be suppressed while I'm there. I'm a political prisoner of Nancy Pelosi and Merrick Garland. And if it took me going to prison to finally get the House to start to move, to start to delegitimize the illegitimate J6 committee, then, hey, guess what? My going to prison is worth it.
And no regrets about not cooperating with the subpoena from the January 6th?
No regrets. First of all, I took the big technical case is taking your lawyer's advice. I took my lawyer's advice as everybody else in the country, if they had a high-powered lawyer, would do. So first off, technically, it was advice of counsel. But also, in addition, the illegitimacy of how it was structured and this concept of executive privilege, how it has to be worked out. Even though I'm in prison, I'm still going to go forward. We file en banc to the entire circuit on July 15th with an amicus brief from the Speaker of the House and the House of Representatives. I'll have an amicus brief, and then depending on what happens there, we're going to go to the Supreme Court.
Okay, I have one.
So no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Good for you. Shouldn't have any regrets. That's something. He's being held in contempt of Congress, going to jail, and the Speaker of the House of Congress says this is fake. The January 6th committee was fake, and you know what? I think that was a little jibe, barb, whatever, at the Republicans in Congress, because too many of them are too busy being on cable news and writing tweets instead of defunding Jack Smith. Instead of, I don't know, you could defund some of these agencies. You could cripple them. You could do it legally. Instead, they have these hearings designed to, they get on TV, they get on Twitter. I don't know. It's not enough. Remember about Gavin Newsom. The guy's going nowhere. I know a lot of people are saying he could be the nominee. No, he can't be. A couple of things he did wrong. He overexposed himself over the past year, having that debate with Rubio, proving to everybody that he's a vain jerk, right? With that hair and he's glib, and he's just not deep. And we all saw that. And so he overexposed himself. He turned a lot of people off. And, I was like, okay, who is this guy? So I went poking around, and I found out a few things about him. When he was the mayor of San Francisco, he was having an affair with his best friend's wife. Did you know that? Did you know that? Probably not. I know that. Now you're going to know it. This is, it's like in 2005, Gavin Newsom is a San Francisco mayor, and he got caught. Cut 10, please. Cut 10.
I want to make it clear that everything you've heard and read is true. And I am deeply sorry about that. I've hurt someone I care deeply about, Alex Turk, his friends and family. And that is something that I have to live with, and something that I am deeply sorry for. I am also sorry that I've let the people of San Francisco down. They expect a lot of their mayor, and my personal lapse of judgment aside, I am committed to restoring their trust and confidence, and will work very hard in the upcoming months to make sure that the business of running the city is framed appropriately. I also want to extend a personal apology to everyone in our administration, to my staff that I just met with, to my friends and my family members. I am deeply sorry.
Well, notice he didn't say he was ashamed. You should be ashamed of that. Look, I'm no angel, all right? And I've done some things that I regret. But there are certain things I think render you ineligible. He should have resigned. You can't be the mayor of the city and running for re-election, and your top aide/campaign manager is married to a woman that you have sex with. And it wasn't a lapse of judgment. It wasn't a one-time thing, right? It was, a relationship that his best friend and campaign manager didn't know about. And also, okay, I hear he was blaming the booze for a lot of his problems. But maybe you shouldn't be mayor if you got a drinking problem and a drug problem. But he did, and he was. Are you still impressed with Gavin Newsom? I mean, how great is I'm sorry. How great is his hair? How white are his teeth? Let me figure this out. My throat here. Gail, what's up?
I just wanted to say that it's interesting to me that the Democrats now are all talking about lying and Trump lying. Yet the elephant in the room is that over the last 4 years, and nobody's really bringing that much attention to this, how the Democrats and the liberals lied to the American public about Biden's lack of fitness to be the president of this country. They have lied all this time, yet no one's talking about that lying. This is what annoys me, because they have such a double standard.
Well, I'm talking till I'm blue in the face about it. The lies that they've told all along, and about other stuff. COVID, January 6th, Ukraine. They are, what's the word? Pathological. They are pathological, born liars. They can't stop. And now they're confusing their lies with the truth. They can't remember. It's the last thing you want to do with dementia. All right, because now we can't account for that stuff. We caught him in a lie in the middle of the debate. I was a 6 handicap. Trump says, "Wait, what did he say? He was a 6 handicap." Trump's like, I was an 8 handicap." He caught him right there about the little things, the big things, everything. And you're right. If you look it up, what Donald Trump said, "Oh, that was a lie. That was a lie." No, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. He did not lie once. There were no lies from Trump. Well, wait a second. He said something about the economy being like, there was occasional, totally acceptable, truthful hyperbole. All right. Being truthful, a little bit hyperbolic, but there weren't lies meant to deceive. Biden's all about deceiving us, the American people. And he's been doing it his entire life. It is incredible. Gail, thank you. Mike, what is it?
Hello, Greg. In the debate, what was that part about you'll carry your own golf bag? Do you know what that meant?
Yeah, that meant that was Biden trying to say you're not in a good enough shape to not use the golf cart. So you got to walk the course and carry your own golf bag. Do you think you can do that? You get the joke? You can't, I'm man enough to carry my own bag. And that's obviously takes some effort to carry a great big bag, right? How many clubs are in that? I don't know. So he thought Trump couldn't do it. And he was going off an old story. He was going off a 4-year-old story of Trump being overweight. Does anybody notice that Trump has slimmed down? I don't want to do this because I don't look very well in it, but I took a picture with Donald Trump 2 months ago, and we're both wearing suits. And he's the one who looks slim. I look squat. I don't like this picture. That's one of the reasons why I haven't put it up. I guess I won't put it up. But, people don't see me as overweight, even though I got a little going on. And he's slim. And he was going off. He was trying to call him fat, too. How is that for a president? You're fat. You're fat. And the loser and the sucker thing? No evidence of that. Although I do have evidence of Joe Biden calling troops bastards. Remember that? You don't? I'll play it for you when I come back. Mike, does that make sense about the bag?
Yes, Greg, one other thing. A few minutes ago, you suggested that Trump step down or resign.
Wait,
if he does
wait. I didn't say anything about Trump. You mean Biden stepping down or resigning?
Biden, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're saying if he steps down, maybe somebody better comes in and Trump has a harder time of it. Is that what you're worried about?
Well, if he steps down immediately, Kamala is president.
Kamala, for all her many, many shortcomings, is better than Joe. Is better than Joe. Absolutely better than Joe. I think she's on something, and we know Joe's on stuff. But I actually think, if what's her name came in here, Kamala, right now, I could have a conversation with Kamala. I could. You can't do that with Joe. You literally can't talk to the guy without him yelling at you and saying all kinds of crazy stuff about lying dog-faced pony soldiers, right? So I could live with Kamala, but I think it's really dangerous for this guy to be president right now. I bet you could live with her too, just for a little while. Hello, Joseph. Hello.
Hello, Gregory. Greg.
Yeah.
Joseph. Yes. At the debate last Thursday, I heard a question from the moderators who I thought were pretty fair. However, the question was asked, I think, only of President Trump, and the question was, would you accept the results of the election no matter what? And he said only if they're fair. I don't think that was asked of Biden. Now, the other point I'm making is that 49 of the 50 states have issued voter registration cards to illegal aliens. I'm a legal citizen, came in the 50s. So I think they have something up their sleeve. That's why they're confident to keep Biden in. They think they can manipulate the results in some devious way. What do you think?
I'm totally worried about that as well. I wouldn't call the Biden people confident. That's not the word I would use for them right now, though. They're hanging on for dear life. You got major people, Democrats weighing in, saying that this can't go on. So I am worried about the same thing. I don't think they're confident. I think they're freaking out, and this could come to an end very, very soon. Thank you, buddy. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly. You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
Another thing, and people are putting it very, very brilliantly. Losers and suckers. You're the loser. You're the sucker. Remember Biden said that to Trump based on the fake information that Trump called the troops losers and suckers. That is not true. It's not true. It did not happen. And there's no proof that it happened. And this guy, Goldberg, wrote it for the Atlantic magazine. No proof, not a shred of proof. Never heard Donald Trump say anything like that. But I've got lots of examples of Joe Biden disrespecting troops, calling them dumb, calling them bastards, even calling them dumb bastards. So here's Vice President Biden on the road, looking for laughs, looking for love, not getting it because they don't like him, the troops. And listen to what he says. Okay, go ahead.
I have incredibly good judgment. One, I married Jill. And two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Clap for that, you stupid bastard. Man, you are a dull bunch. Must be slow here, man. Look.
Stop. You hear what happened there? He said, I appointed Johnson here to the academy. Clap for that, you stupid bastards. Man, you're a slow bunch. You must be really slow and dull. He said that to the troops. He said it to their face. And somehow that Donald Trump is supposed to be this animal, right? That's how they portray. It's an amazing thing. Hey, what about denying that there were any troops killed on his watch? 13 of them. Remember the boxes that came back from Afghanistan? 13 of them. Thank you very much, Lauren Boebert, for that moment at the State of the Union. Just incredible. Really, really, what a wild time. And it's all being exposed. But fake news, they can't be embarrassed. I'm going to be making a video later on, and my intent is to embarrass people. People like Peter Alexander, NBC News. People like Kristen Welker, NBC News. People like David Muir, ABC News. People like Norah O'Donnell, CBS News. We got to put names out there. What they did, how they concealed, how they deceived the American people. Journalists. Journalism. Oh, we're journalists. Yes. Oh, yes, we're journalists. Oh, you can't believe far right-wing media. No. They're, what are they? They're white supremacists. They're, no. We're just truth tellers, okay? We are just truth tellers. Now, the other thing that's really, really good, I don't like to read entire columns. I won't read the entire one, but I do really like Miranda Devine. And man, does she go after Jill. Jill Biden is the one who did so much damage to this country and, quite frankly, to her husband. She is a dangerous woman. Jill Biden's delusional if she believes she can save her husband, the country, after debate debacle. In the aftermath of Joe Biden's debate debacle, there is one constant: Dr. Jill's self-delusional belief that she can save the day. Under the thrall of her Rasputin-like advisor, Anthony Bernal, the First Lady is acting as if she is the candidate at the expense of her husband and the country. She is the keeper of Biden delusions. Joe, you did such a great job, she shrieked after commandeering the microphone at the debate after party in Atlanta as her downcast husband stood on stage gaping at her uncomprehendingly. You answered every question, she gushed in a gratingly patronizing tone, like a nursery school teacher who hates kids. Oh, I love that line. The whole world knew we did a terrible job, even Joe. But that's the problem with habitual lying. It swallows you in delusion eventually. You could see the emergence of Jill's rival court. You could see the emergence of Jill's rival court in recent months as Joe faded and she embarked on a frenetic round of solo campaigning, always with Bernal, who she calls her work husband. Yeah, watch out for anybody who calls anybody a work husband. I don't like that. Bernal was by her side when she swanned into Hunter's gun trial in Wilmington in her finest designer threads last month to project presidential power on the yokels in the jury. She really did, commuting from France. You can see how she depends on Bernal by the knowing glances they exchange when Joe is going off the rails, as he did at Waffle House, where they dragged him after the debate when he should have been in bed. As Joe babbled to random customers, Bernal turned to look at Jill and raised both eyebrows in an expression of alarm. Iron control. These days, Joe always plays second fiddle to his wife. Jill makes it clear she has more important things to do than play exasperated nursemaid to her doddering husband. You could see it in France when she left a disoriented Joe to the mercies of a reluctant Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, while she strode ahead with French President Emmanuel Macron. You saw it over the weekend when she was having the time of her life hobnobbing with the rich and famous in East Hampton while Joe's face seemed locked in a rictus grimace. I don't know what a rictus is. Do you? I'll look it up in a second. Naturally, she spoke first at the fundraiser of a $147 million mansion of a hedge fund billionaire where reporters were instructed to wear shoe covers. The problem is that the reality of Dr. Jill doesn't measure up to her delusions of grandeur. She will never be the candidate, no matter how many upbeat polls her staff shows her about her popularity with suburban women. And it goes on like this. You know what it reminds me of? She left her husband, all-around great guy Bill Stevenson, for Joe, because Joe was hotter at the time. Now Joe's losing it, right? He's not that hot anymore. He's on the way out. So Jill is moving on in her own way.
Janine Pirro here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Pirro for your free Janine Pirro Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit, or call 800-965-8004. 800-965-8004 now to receive a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.